episode 429 of 360 Wrestling Fanatic. I will be talking about tonight's episodes of Impact Wrestling on Access TV and Ring of Honor on Honor Club, featuring a Chicago street fight for the ROH Women's Championship in the main event. Right here, right now, 360 Wrestling Fanatic. Hey Wrestling Fanatics, welcome to this episode of 360 Wrestling Fanatic. I am your host, Lance Brock. Thank you for tuning in to tonight's show on this Thursday. So, going to be talking about Impact Wrestling and Ring of Honor on Honor Club. And let's start off this Thursday episode of 360 talking Impact Wrestling on Access TV tonight. Commentators Tom Hannafan and Matthew Raywalt. We have a 6-man tag team match. And it is the Good Hands, Jason Hodge and John Schuyler, teaming with Brian Myers and actually getting the win over OVE, Sami Callihan, Jake Christ, and Man Fulton, with some help from Moose. Dirty Dango defeated Bhupinder Kujar, and now with this new character, Dirty Dango, he got on the mic and said that he really hates pro wrestling. And Matthew Raywalt on commentary brought up the point that he said that while he was in a wrestling ring. And I'm not sure how I feel about this new character of Dirty Dango, where he is going after the pro wrestling fans on the internet and other pro wrestlers that go on social media and complain, and tonight even saying he hates pro wrestling. I think it could work, but I'm going to say it's bad, but we'll just have to wait and see how it goes. Also, the Octopus, Jonathan Gresham, and Speedball Mike Bailey, defeat the Design, Angels, and Big Con with Diener in their corner. At the finish, we see a little communication problems between Angels and Diener that cost the Design this tag team match. Killer Kelly defeats Taylor Wilde, who had her Impact Knockouts Tag Team Championship partner, Kylie King, in her corner. And in a match for the Impact Wrestling Digital Media Championship, Joe Hendry successfully defended against Yuya Uemura. Very good match here. Big fan of both Hendry and Uemura. Really good match these two put on. And in the main event of Impact this week, Steve Macklin and Bully Ray defeat Frankie Kazarian and Eddie Edwards. As at Slammiversary, they will team up to face the now, in storyline anyway, former president of Impact Wrestling, Scott D'Amore, and PCO. I'm kind of surprised that they made that tag team match. I thought they might have been building for a one-on-one singles match between Bully Ray and Scott D'Amore, and nothing against PCO or Steve Macklin, but I would have preferred to see the singles match. And who knows, maybe one day down the line we will. I mean, maybe D'Amore doesn't want to work a singles match, so might be the reason for the tag, but I'm sure it'll still be a good tag team match anyway. Also during the show, we had an interview with Scott D'Amore. Very good interview, I thought. Definitely explaining it no longer being Impact Wrestling president and wanting this match. And there was also a pretty good video package with Trinity talking about her upcoming Impact Knockouts Championship against the current champion Deonna Purrazzo, and how there is a chance that match could become a three-way match if on that show in the Impact Wrestling Tour in Australia, if Giselle Shaw defeats Deonna Purrazzo to become the Knockouts champion, that match will be a three-way at Slammiversary. So that was tonight's episode of Impact Wrestling on Access TV. Once again, I think Impact Wrestling delivered a very good show. This week. And now we go over to Honor Club for this new episode of Ring of Honor. And we start things off. The first match tonight was actually taped last night at Dynamite in the Wintrust Arena in Chicago. And it is an 8-man tag. The Lucha Brothers, El Hijo del Vikingo, and Commander defeat the Spanish Announce Project and the Butcher and the Blade. Pretty good opener here. Like I said, this match looked like it was actually taped at the Wintrust Arena. And now the other matches on the show were taped at the United Center Saturday night at Collision. We have Gringo Loco defeating Willie Mack, Trish Adora defeating Allison Kay, Kyle Fletcher representing Aussie Open and the United Empire defeated Wrestling's Last Real Man, Silas Young. The Gates of Agony and Brian Cage representing the Mogul Embassy get a victory in a 6-man tag, pretty much squash match here. And Josh Woods takes on Dalton Castle, and the Infantry defeated the Kingdom, getting the upset. Big Bill and Lee Moriarty defeat Matt Sydal, Blake Christian, when Big Bill pinned Christian. Daniel Garcia defeated Rocky Romero in a pure Wrestling Rules match. This one was a very good match here. And then after the match, Garcia attacked Romero, and then the AEW International Champion freshly squeezed Orange Cassidy comes to the ring to make the save. And in the main event on Ring of Honor on Honor Club this week, the Ring of Honor Women's Championship on the line in a Chicago street fight. Athena defeats Kiera Hogan in a fantastic main event this week. This is a really good one. I definitely recommend, if you did not see this week's episode of Ring of Honor, definitely worth checking out. And how I have said on the podcast before, Honor Club, in my opinion, is definitely worth giving a try. Even if you don't like it for some reason, you could always cancel after the first month. But it is very good. I don't see anybody really not liking it, wanting to cancel. And very good. The weekly show, the new Ring of Honor, very good. And you get the original Ring of Honor on there as well. And definitely very good. Worth checking out, in my opinion. And Athena lately, if you have not seen any of her title defenses on Ring of Honor, has been doing a great job having some really good matches. She has definitely been impressive. And that was our pro wrestling lineup for this Thursday night. Had some good wrestling as usual with these two shows, Impact and Ring of Honor. And before I wrap up this podcast, we got some quick news to talk about. Fuego del Sol has announced that he is finishing up with Ring of Honor, or AEW, and starting July 1st, he will be a free agent. And Tony Khan has denied the rumors about him wanting to purchase Bellator, and also says he has had nice conversations with Goldberg. So who knows what will happen there. And some good news for NXT. Seth Rollins vs. Braun Breaker this past Tuesday night drew the largest NXT audience since 2021. So like I said, good news for NXT. And also some more Impact Wrestling news. 7 matches have now been announced to the Down Under Tour in Australia. That will take place July 1st on Fight TV. And we will see ABC, the Impact World Tag Team Champions Chris Bay and Ace Austin, taking on the Motor City Machine Guns, the World Champion Alex Shelley, and the X Division Champion Chris Sabin. And Killer Kelly will be in action, taking on Steph DeLander. And Steve Macklin will be taking on Frankie Kazarian. Joe Hendry will defend the Digital Media Championship against Eddie Edwards. And the champion, that wins that match will take on Moose the next night. And also, on one of the second show, Chris Bay and Ace Austin will face Chris Sabin. They'll be facing Moose and Brian Myers. And Chris Sabin will defend the X Division Championship against Kazarian and Robbie Eagles. Very good match. That sounds like that's on the Impact Wrestling Down Under Tour in Australia which will take place June 30th and July 1st. Now, this one is not on Impact Plus, will be exclusive to Fight TV, which I believe here in the United States will be starting at, I want to say, 5 a.m. Eastern, or I could be wrong about the time, but I know it's early in the morning sometime with the whole time difference thing. And that's all for this Thursday night episode of 360 Wrestling Fanatic. Once again, thank you everyone for tuning in tonight. And remember, if you have any questions or comments, suggestions, want to leave your feedback for tonight's Impact Wrestling and Ring of Honor, leave them in the comment section here on Spreaker or whichever website or podcast app you listen to on. Also, if you have a company or a business you would like to advertise, email 360wrestlingpodcasts@gmail.com. Hope we can work something out. I'll try to do a good read for you, not mess up too badly. Once again, the email is 360wrestlingpodcasts@gmail.com. And also subscribe to everything. I know I don't talk about that as much as I should, but the two 360 Wrestling Podcast YouTube channels on just about anywhere you can listen to podcasts. And the social media, Twitter at 360 Wrestling Pod, Instagram 360 Wrestling Podcast, Facebook also 360 Wrestling Podcast, and hope to have an episode of 360 Wrestling Fanatic tomorrow after SmackDown and Rampage, and Saturday after Collision, and of course Sunday after the Forbidden Door pay-per-view. And that's all for tonight. I'll talk to everyone tomorrow for the Friday episode at GMWF. But until then, I am Lance, and I am a wrestling fanatic.